Where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware needs. They've been serving folks in this area since 1946. Murphy's offers some products and services that you may not know about. They now sell ammunition, both bullets and shells. Murphy's also sells personalized tags for dog collars. They build customized screens for windows and doors. Murphy's can rekey locks, and of course they can make keys. They cut glass for windows, plus Murphy's has monthly door buster specials. Check their Facebook page to see what's on sale. Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
At 7:56, world-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you this morning by Murphy Builder Supply and somebody new.
Hey, we want to start today's show by welcoming our new Butch and Bob sponsor, Damon's Restaurant, owned and operated by Mr. David Popkin. Damon's is open 7 days a week. They have invited back their customers inside the building. They've got safety precautions in place, but the drive-thru's there for your convenience as well. Damon's a great place to eat. I can speak from personal experience. Eat there at least a couple times a week, just about every Monday routine. Also, when I head to Vernie Lewis's Sports Porch for a Saturday football, I always try not to come empty-handed, so I order a few plates of chicken fingers and wings from Damon's, and they're always a great hit. Again, we want to thank and welcome Damon's Restaurant, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, a great place for a meal. And if your business would like to be a sponsor of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, just give us a call this week at the station, 427-3711. It's a great package, great listenership. This past month alone, our guests have included all 4 Republican candidates running for sheriff. Also had Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, Insurance Commissioner John King. Continue with our series of interviews Monday through Wednesday with our state reps today. Again, in a few minutes, we'll have Bill Werkheiser join us. Later today, congressional candidate Danny Merritt. Friday, we've got Buddy Carter, the incumbent. We've had the exclusive interview this past month with District Attorney Jackie Johnson, over 5,000 hits and counting on that interview. Also had our opponent Keith Higgins. We had our school superintendent Jay Brinson, high school principal Brett McDaniel with all the latest school news. We had the tourism board on about this weekend's Catfish tournament. And last Friday, we had a very special guest and friend, Tommy Palmer, from the Georgia High School Scoreboard Show. Joined us to talk about his career and his battle with cancer. Again, it's become a very popular show, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. If you'd like to be a sponsor, we've got a few spots open. You can give us a call this week at 427-3711. We'll put you on as a sponsor of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. But again, we want to thank Damon's for joining the program today. And again, they'll be a sponsor for the next several months. And another programming note, Tuesday we brought back the Gospel Hour, Jonathan, from 11 to 12 noon here on the Big Dog. And we've got sponsorship, sponsor bill for that as well. You've got more on what kind of gospel show, what kind of music they're bringing here every day, Monday through Friday.
Bill Gaither's Homecoming Radio. If you've heard of, you got the Gaither Vocal Trio and of course the Gaither Band. And it's Bill Gaither and the gang from 11 until 12. We've run that before on Sunday mornings, and it's a great show. They have a lot of fun. And we've got openings right now. We've got sponsors on it as we speak right now. The Massage Cottage is sponsoring Swain & Associates and Baxley, also House of Worship and Ministries, and Odom Baptist Church. So you can be part of that as well, 11 to 12 every day right here on WIFO.
Again, a lot of people love gospel music. Again, was something that was very popular years ago. We brought it back, and the response has been overwhelming. So, again, if you'd like to be a sponsor on that. But, again, that's every day from 11 to 12. The Gospel Hour back here on the Big Dog 105.5. Again, people are excited about that. So.
And it's a Wednesday with Werkheiser. We're waiting to see if he's going to check in this morning or not, because they're busy already, aren't they?
Yeah, we've already checked with him. He's calling in this morning.
Good.
We got Danny Merritt coming in at 8:15 after that. So we've got 2 guests today on the Butch and Bob Show. We got Buddy Carter tomorrow here as the early voting continues. Primary day Tuesday. Again, polls open Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Going to remind everybody to get out and vote. Again, just encourage everybody to vote. Again, over 1,000 votes cast with 3 days left of the 3-week early voting period. Again, I understand a lot of absentee ballots have been put on file, and you can still get those in by next Tuesday as well.
And they're allowed, though, to start counting those 8 days out. Is that correct?
I think so. I have to check.
A week or 8 days, I believe it was.
I'll have to check with them. Hopefully they'll have those counted by the time we get down there Tuesday night.
Well, the process, I went through early voting on day one. I was lucky 13 at about 9:30, and it went very smoothly, and the new system seems to work very well. You cast your vote on the machine like you used to, and then it prints out a piece of paper, which they scan in. I don't understand why that. Why don't you just go back to the one where you drew the line across on the optical reader if you're going to go through all that? But
I want to go back to the old machines years ago where you just closed the
pull the lever, yes.
And then all they did was open the machine, go to the bottom and say, winner. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, have a great day.
Took 5 minutes.
That's right.
Those are the good old days.
Good old days. Uphill both ways in the snow to school, 5 miles, yes.
There we go.
All right, let's take a break here. World-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO FM Jessup, waiting on Representative Bill Werkheiser.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings is open for business. Yes, I know that makes you happy. Damon's features the great American takeout and drive-through service. For faster service, call your order in at 588-9464. That's 588-9464. Then go pick it up. Check out Damon's full menu online at damonsfamous.com. That's damonsfamous.com. Go get the food you love at Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, 334 West Cherry Street in Jessup, open till 9 p.m.
Murphy's Builder Supply is where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware needs. They've been serving folks in this area since 1946. Murphy's offers some products and services that you may not know about. They now sell ammunition, both bullets and shells. Murphy's also sells personalized tags for dog collars. They build customized screens for windows and doors. Murphy's can rekey locks, and of course they can make keys. They cut glass for windows, plus Murphy's has monthly doorbuster specials. Check their Facebook page to see what's on sale. Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
At 8 o'clock, you're on the
Big Dog.
WIFO-FM Big Dog Country Mind of its own there this morning, Bob. 8:01, it is time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Representative Bill Werkheiser on the phone.
It's Wednesdays with Werkheiser. Bill. Today we got another guest after Bill. Again, Danny Merritt going to call in after that. But Bill, again, appreciate you calling in. Legislative session just about a week and a half away. The date's still June 15th. Is that correct?
I have not heard any different, but I have not gotten official notice either. So
that's surprising. They still haven't put out an official notice on that. With what are we? June 3rd, June 4th. What day is today? Today's the 3rd. Right. So 3rd of June, and still haven't heard an official word. But one thing for sure is that a lot of agencies are already trying to make preparations for this huge cut. 14% across the board is the proposal. You see any of that changing, or is that pretty much going to be the standard proposal?
That's what everybody is planning on doing. Unlike the first time we had the 4%, when some of the agencies were able to cut deeper, such as Department of Corrections, that allowed some agencies to not have to cut as deep. But since they've already done that, and then now you're talking about 14%, which is pretty deep, it's going to have to be close to across the board, because I don't know how else to make it more fair, but I don't know if people understand just how deep that is, because when we were doing the 4%, and some of the services we were having to cut out were painful. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for a lot. Like I said, we had a story on the day about that one state agency that's been really hit by this coronavirus is the state's court system. Again, court officials statewide have been warning of a huge backlog of cases being built up. The coronavirus has shut down the court system. Again, here in Wayne County, again, our major cases have been put on hold. Inmates are still in jail. And it's been a big hit. That's just one agency of many that are being affected.
Yeah, and as Senator Tillery points out a lot, the top 3 or 4 take up most of the budget, especially education, with 60%, and that's why a percent cut makes them more fair, because education will take the biggest hit, but they get the biggest part of the budget. So I don't know. It is going to be tough.
Well, last time we talked to you, you said you were planning to go up there early. Have you been into Atlanta yet, or have you been on committee conference calls, or what all's taking place with you?
I've made one trip up there. Yeah, I've been on many conference calls. There's Wednesday, got one tomorrow with the governor's office. We usually get a weekly update. Don't hear anything much different than the public hears the following day, or sometimes just hours later. So, and then also a lot of appropriation hearings, and so. But the weird thing is, the staff were supposed to go in June 1st, Monday, and then all of a sudden, because of the protesting, especially right there near the Capitol, they were told to not come in and then wait till Tuesday, and then Tuesday we're told, well, let's hold off another day, and so today's going to be their first day in. And so that's where we are on that.
Yeah, as we mentioned last week, it's just going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds, how it's going to work. You know, will people be on computers in their offices? Will they be in the assembly hall? And all that's going to have to be worked out between now and hopefully the 15th. But when do you think they'll make it official? I mean, who has that authority? Who makes it official? Is it the lieutenant governor and the House Speaker together, or does the lieutenant governor make that decision? How does that work?
So together they have to agree on the schedule because one can't meet without the other. And then as far as protocols, how we will meet, that's where the separation, like the House will come up with a set of rules, and they already have. We've seen those. And the Senate will do likewise. But then, as you have been quick to point out, you can make all the plans in the world. I can tell everybody to meet in their office, and then you might get up there and, you know, it doesn't work well like that. So it could be very fluid. And so, but basically, the Speaker and the Lieutenant Governor make the decisions. And even though the Governor is in on a lot of their meetings, you got to remember there's a separation of powers there. And so the Governor, just like the meeting on when to officially go back, he has always said, look, I'll work with y'all, whatever y'all want to do, but it's y'all's call. So because it's the legislative branch, it's basically those two leaders who set the agenda.
And I'm curious, you know, you go in some places, you know, they check your temperature, they won't get you in if you have, I wonder if they're going to do that same thing with the legislators. And as we mentioned, these are a lot of elderly gentlemen at risk category, so it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out, what all guidelines are put in place. So it should be fun to watch for sure.
About me?
I'm talking about myself. I put myself in that category. As I said, we're all up there, you know. But I mean, the legislators are a little bit older than me, and then most of those guys are, you know, they've been there quite a while. So, but it'll be interesting how it works out for sure.
I have legislators who are the same age as my children, and who are the same age as my dad would be. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't know where you stand on that list, but like I said, I gave him 2 months. I'm done. I've been in restaurants every day for the last 2 weeks. I got a haircut, got a massage. I mean, been out watching ball games. I mean, I'm ready to get back to college football, getting ready to. I saw this program the other day. You don't know what to believe anymore. You know, people are flying on airplanes all across the country, but you can't go to the ballpark and sit in an outdoor stadium. And they're saying now that it's proven the fact that the virus definitely doesn't like heat, doesn't like the outdoors. I saw a report yesterday. I said, you don't know what to believe, but I heard that outside, the chance of you spreading it being outside is less than 1%. So,
well, and that's interesting, too.
So you don't know what to believe. So
yeah, because, you know, those are big crowds who are in tight spaces. So it'll be interesting to see if we see a spike.
I mean, common sense says, why can you jam people in an airplane in closed proximity, but you can't sit outside and watch a ball game? So, I don't know. It just seems crazy anymore. Don't know what to believe. With all this protesting going around the country, they're definitely not practicing social distancing on that. Nobody's talking about social distancing when you see all that on TV every night. So, can't watch that. So, again, we just appreciate you being here every Wednesdays with Werkheiser. Again, we're curious to see what happens when the legislative session gets underway. But, again, as I mentioned, all these state agencies are preparing for these cuts, preparing what they're going to do when the cuts are finally put in place. It's definitely going to be a hardship. That is a fact. So, but hopefully, like I said, the governor's got things opening back up. The bars and restaurants were able to open up on Monday. So, you see the High School Association letting kids back on campus on this coming Monday, June 8th. So hopefully things will continue to progress at a good pace, and we'll see more and more activity across the state.
Yep, and looks like fall sports will be back on, so that's a big sigh of relief. Well, I know you got another guest. I will let you get to them, and I'll continue.
I'm praying every night for college football. That's all I'm doing, every night. Dear God, please give me college football. Got to have it. I'm going crazy without sports. The baseball players are driving me crazy, too, because all they want to do is argue about money. Get your butt out there and play ball. That's what I like to tell them, but they're not listening to me. Bill, always good to have you on the show Wednesday. Appreciate it. Like I said, we got another guest, but we'll talk to you next Wednesday, and then hopefully in the next couple of days they're finalized when the date is for the legislative session. Like I said, it's still interesting. They have not made a final proclamation on when you're going back. So,
and you're down to days here.
I was going to say, and I mean, we're at June 3rd, and they're talking about the date 15th. You'd think the announcement would come shortly. So hopefully you can get in touch with the lieutenant governor and find out what's going on.
All right.
And let me know. Text me if you get that information. Let us know. Appreciate it.
I will do it.
Okay, Bill. Appreciate it very much.
We'll talk to y'all next week.
Stay safe for sure. Again, those comments, State Representative Bill Werkheiser. Again, we'll take a break. Get another guest calling in, Danny Merritt, congressional candidate on the ballot. So we'll talk with him in a few minutes here and get his thoughts on this campaign. I think he's got a few events coming up this week in Wayne County, so be interested to hear about those. But we'll take a break, come back, hopefully with Danny Merritt. Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
This is Reggie Burgess from the Wayne County School System. Keep Wayne safe by continuing to observe social distancing and other good health guidelines. Remain at least 6 feet apart at all times. Wash your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds, especially after having come in contact with commonly touched surfaces such as doorknobs, light switches, telephones, sink faucets, and countertops, and cough or sneeze only into a tissue or elbow. This message is brought to you by the Wayne County Commission, the cities of Jessup, Odom, and Scriven, Chamber of Commerce, IDA, Emergency Management, Board of Education, Wayne Memorial Hospital, and Rainier Advanced Materials.
In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is important not to put your health care on hold. Preventative testing, lab work, elective, diagnostic, and surgical procedures are available at Wayne Memorial Hospital and are vital to ensure your continued good health. At Wayne Memorial, we prioritize your health and safety. You can be confident that all appropriate safety measures remain in place to protect our patients. At Wayne Memorial, you will find clean, open areas in which social distancing is enforced. Surfaces are regularly sanitized by our skilled environmental services staff, and HEPA-certified air filters are located throughout the hospital, ensuring the cleanest air possible. Our staff has ample supply of protective personal equipment, and face masks and hand sanitizers are readily available to our patients. We look forward to the day when we are able to lift our no visitors policy. Regardless of the COVID-19 virus, our friends, family, and neighbors are still suffering from heart disease, cancer, neurological problems, and much more. Please don't delay your important health care needs any longer. Schedule your services at Wayne Memorial Hospital today, where your health means everything to us.
WIFO-FM, Big Dog Country 813, world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply and a new sponsor, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings.
Yep. And again, if you'd like to be a sponsor of the Butch and Bob Show, just give us a call this week and we'll line you up. Again, some great program and special guests. He's been on the show before, Danny Merritt, running for Congress. Danny, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm on the road, headed towards Lowndes County.
I understand you got some events here in Wayne County this week. I know there's an event tomorrow at Jones's Kitchen. I think there's another event Saturday. Not sure the details on that. Tell us what's all taking place here in Wayne County if people want to meet Danny Merritt.
So we have a pretty packed schedule. I'm in the car. I don't have everything in front of me, but we're going to hit all 17 counties in about 4 days. So we're just nonstop from this morning. We got 3 stops today or 4 stops today, and we're going to hit every single county and kind of end this campaign the same way we started it. Super. We're in this to win it.
But the event tomorrow is at Jones's Kitchen. You have the details on that?
I do not. Like I said, I'm in the car right this very second. I can't pull that up, but we will be at Jones Kitchen tomorrow, and we could send you the time frame. I believe it's at lunchtime tomorrow. Okay,
I think so too. And then I got a text from somebody. You got an event Saturday in Hortense at 1 o'clock at the range. So we'll try to get the details on that and let people know. But again, like I said, we've had you on before. You're running for this first congressional district seat. The incumbent Buddy Carter. Again, you're on the Republican ballot. There's 3 candidates on the Republican ballot, 3 on the Democratic ballot, so it won't be decided till November. But by June the 9th, we may know who the candidate is on the Republican side, getting the nom. Again, it's tough to beat an incumbent, so you're out there trying to do that. Tell us how that has gone for you up to this point, and what do you expect on Tuesday night, June the 9th?
I expect to win. I started this race almost 14 months ago. I've been fighting, a very similar type fight that Donald Trump fought, basically fighting the establishment. I haven't waited in line. I haven't kissed the ring. I haven't been groomed to be a yes man. And I have some great ideas on how to really make some significant improvements here in Georgia's 1st District for veterans, for small business owners, for farmers, for people in the timber industry. And I think my message has resonated. And, I've been outspent by 20-1. Buddy Carter spent, over $1.5 million, beating me up. And guess what? I'm within a percentage point of him. And that just shows that grassroots politics is effective. And having a good message is effective, and being a good, solid candidate is effective. So I expect to win on Tuesday. I expect to win significantly, and I think that we're going to change the game of politics, and I look forward to working really hard and thinking outside the box and getting things done instead of just talking about getting things done. So I think the people in this district expect and deserve a solid performer, not just somebody who can give a good canned speech, and I think that that's going to make an impact, and I'm proud of this race so far.
For those listening, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your message been out on the campaign trail.
My name's Danny Merritt. I'm running for Congress, Georgia's Republican ticket for 1st District. I'm a co-founder of Nine Line Apparel. Very proud to, have created hundreds and hundreds of jobs here in Georgia's 1st District. I've got 18 years in the United States Army. I'm a combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm not a small business owner, and a part-time farmer, and I love that. So, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded individual. I've cleaned pots and pans. I've been a waiter, a bartender, a busboy. I've delivered pizza. I started off as an enlisted guy. Now I'm a field-grade Army officer. So, I'm a well-rounded candidate. I can really connect with the average person here in this district, and I think that really makes sense. I think a lot of our career politicians, they're so disconnected. They don't really understand anymore what it's like to kind of struggle. And we have a lot of people in this district that are struggling, and I want to make that better. I want to represent the folks who have been underrepresented. And I think that's the big thing that I bring to the table, and I think that's why people are voting for me. And that's why it's going to be possible to knock out, one of the wealthiest members of Congress.
I know we talked to you before. There are a lot of military facilities in this district. You have a military background, and you're concerned about veterans benefits. Tell us about that.
We have a VA system that's broken. I have a plan to fix it, not just to talk about it. My plan to fix the VA system is to figure out the areas in which they're strong and continue to safeguard those programs and those capabilities, but also a plan to kind of seek out where they're weak. And what I have noticed is that they are weak when it comes to treating veterans at the clinic level, the place that most people go for their first time when they need something. And they're really weak when it comes to substance abuse treatment, and they're really weak when it comes to mental health. And those are the two leading contributors to the 22 service members that take their own life every day. So my solution to the problem is very similar to the way that our President Donald Trump, comes up with solutions to problems, and that's a public-private partnership. For instance, if a VA facility does not have the capability to deal with substance abuse, then I will mandate that they have a private-public partnership with a civilian entity that does, and will fund it. Same thing with mental health. So when a service member goes, listen, I really have a problem. I've been self-medicating self-medicating for a very long time. I need to get inpatient treatment. I really feel like, I'm at wit's end. They can't say, well, go to the emergency room. They can say, we got you covered. We're going to get you transportation. We're going to get you the treatment that you need, and we're going to make sure you don't become a statistic. And let me tell you what, this doesn't hit home to everybody, but it hits home to me. I've run hundreds of combat patrols. I took all of my soldiers home after mission in Iraq just to lose a lot of them to suicide. So this is something I'm passionate about. I have a solution to a problem, and I'll get it done.
If you just joined us, Danny Merritt, running for Congress on the phone with us, candidate on the Republican ballot. Let's just assume you're in Congress right now. I want to talk about several issues that are taking place nationwide, statewide. First thing is first, they're up there debating on whether people should get a second stimulus check. Everybody pretty much got their first round, but the two sides, Republicans and Democrats, continue to argue back and forth whether or not, first of all, should we receive a second one, and second of all, how much it should be. If you were in Congress right now, what would your stance be?
I would not vote on a second stimulus check because I don't think we did a good job with the first stimulus check. It's easy for me to Monday morning quarterback that because I am not in Congress. But, my grandmother passed away between last November, between Thanksgiving and Christmas. She got a stimulus check just the other day, and she's been passed for months now. We're de-incentivizing people to go back to work. We're paying them more than they ever made, to sit at home, and we're not built to sit at home. We're Americans. So I have folks who own roofing companies. They can't get people to come to work because they're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to sit at home because I'm making more money now. Obviously not really thinking down the road too far, but I'm saying no, I would not do another round of stimulus checks. I think that what we need to do is get everybody back to work. I wish we spent that money on hand sanitizer and masks to make sure that people could go back to work faster, as opposed to, taking a check. So the answer is no.
Second issue, you watched the nightly news the last several nights, protests all across the country, people out on the streets, a lot of crime being committed. Police officers just seem like they've been told to stand down. If you were advising the president or you're up there trying to give advice, how would you stop all this madness that's taking place night after night after night?
I have no problem with peaceful protest. I don't think anybody does. You want to peacefully protest, I'm all for it. I think we need to drop a sledgehammer, an absolute sledgehammer on these Antifa folks. If you look at some of the governors, like our Governor Kemp, who's taken a stronger approach in how to combat these type of non-peaceful protests, send in the National Guard, give law enforcement the verbal, let's be hard on the ones who are destroying our city. I have your back. It ends up quelling the violence. You have the weak mayors, the weak governors, like we have in New York City, and this is just a free-for-all. These aren't peaceful protests. These are people that want coach purses. And those guys need to be dealt with, and I think what the president is going to do, and he is definitely much more the sledgehammer guy than the, let them burn things down, is we need to start holding these folks who are funding Antifa and start putting them in federal prison for a very long time. We need to start designating Antifa folks the same way that we designate, high-value targets in Iraq, and we can't drop a bomb on them, but we can sure round them up and send them to prison and make sure they stay there for a very long time.
Another issue I want to talk to you about, this pandemic crisis. A lot of people out there now have the perception that right now it's just all become political. It's just trying to destroy the economy. There's a lot of people, small businesses hurting. Like I said, the governor's taking steps to try to reinvigorate the economy, get people back to work. So far, everything seems to be working. He took a lot of criticism for opening up early, but so far, so good. And the more and more you see, the different tales you hear. I just want to get your thoughts where we are with this pandemic crisis right now.
Well, you can tell it's political, and I'll use New York as another example. They were arresting people for going to church. Let's just say that again. They streets with thousands of people and say, hey, they need to get their anger out. This is absolutely political. Governor Kemp had, really took the right approach. Open up quickly. We're not overwhelming our system down here medically. Let's let this thing run its course without creating, an absolute devastating to our economy. And President Trump said the same thing. Don't let the solution be worse than the problem. So this is absolutely political. Our enemies around the world are laughing at us right this second. China's the one that, brought this virus to us. They almost, they FedExed it to us. And now we're burning our own cities down. So, we got a big problem here. We need to get back to normal. We need to open up our businesses. We need to get this economy going again. And unfortunately, Democrats, in my opinion, they would rather see their own plane go down with them inside it than see, our pilot, our president, be successful and keep on kicking butt for the nation. So I got a problem with what's going on, and it comes down to leadership. We need to start changing who we put up in Washington, D.C. I feel like I'm a good start.
One other question, going back to the protests. Where do you stand on the National Guard? There's been a big debate. The governor here in the state of Georgia has deployed the National Guard. The president's talking about using the military. But there's been a debate on whether they should be used in that regard. Again, no one, as you said, denies the right that people have a right to protest peacefully. But, again, if you throw a rock through a window, that's a crime. If you torch a building, it's a crime. If you loot, it's a crime. If you set a police vehicle on fire, it's a crime. So where do you stand on the debate on whether they should use the National Guard to try to correct what's going on night after night, again, with a lot of businesses being destroyed, a lot of crime being committed?
The most important thing is to make sure that whatever the president does, it's within his constitutional, capabilities. And I think that we have federalized the National Guard before, back in the 50s when they were desegregating schools. That makes sense to me. I think we did it during Katrina when things were getting out of control. If it's within his constitutional rights, which I believe it is, I say send in the 10th Mountain Division. I was a proud member of the 10th Mountain Division. I say send in the 82nd Airborne Division, to quell this violence. Send in the 101st Airborne Division. These guys, these police officers are overwhelmed. They need support. The American public is just dying for law and order. And if we're overwhelming our police force and it's constitutional to activate even the active forces, federal forces, to quell this violence, I'm for it. As long as we're not, impeding on people's constitutional rights, I'm always going to be for it. We got to get this thing over quick. And I guess what? These Antifa jokers, they haven't seen nothing until, when they see the 82nd Airborne come in as a brigade combat team, they're gonna need to get a new set of underwear because it'll be a game changer.
Georgia Public TV did a series of debates. I was curious, did they do this congressional district? Is there anywhere we can watch the candidates all at one time, or was that not able to be set up?
No, it was able to be set up, but unfortunately, Buddy Carter never really wanted to give me the light of day because he knows I'm a serious contender, and unfortunately for the people in this district, politics over people, that's exactly what happened. I've asked for a debate for a very long time. I've just been denied it. Unfortunately, I think he's going to pay for that on June 9th because I've already got the message out, and I think people decided that I'm going to be the better candidate.
Well, we've enjoyed getting to know you during the campaign. Again, we've had you on a couple of times. People still talk to me. The one thing they remember, unfortunately, is you called your opponent chicken. I get that coming a lot. Danny Merritt's the man that called Buddy Carter chicken. But people are going to the polls this week for early voting. Tuesday's the primary date. So, again, we asked Danny Merritt, when people are going to the polls and they see the congressional candidates on the Republican ballot for that race, why should they vote for Danny Merritt?
Well, because because I'm not a politician, obviously, by my chicken comment, and I think I do a great job representing everybody, but also I'll be accessible. You know, you won't just hear from me around election time. I'm not just going to concentrate my efforts in Chatham County. You know, my biggest fight right this second is for the timber industry. You know, it is the biggest local issue that I can affect change quickly is to protect our timber industry and support our veterans, and I'll be able to do it rapidly. So if you want a politician, I suggest everybody out there votes for Buddy Carter. If you want a representative, if you want a combat vet and business owner, I suggest you vote for Danny Merritt.
And Danny, where will you be Tuesday night watching the returns?
Tuesday, I'll be at Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and anybody who wants to come on by, we'll be more than happy to have you.
And again, if you can just send us the details, I think, like you said, I'm pretty sure the event tomorrow at Jones's Kitchen is at lunch hour. So, again, people are being able to go inside Jones's Kitchen now. And it's a hot spot here in Wayne County. Not a hot spot as far as convertible. It's a hot spot where people love to go eat. So, that clarification. It's a great restaurant, and people are glad it's back, and they can go inside and get their food. So, again, it's a historic restaurant here in the city of Jessup, Wayne County. It's been just everybody in Wayne County knows where Jones's Kitchen is, so I'm sure you see a lot of people there. And also the Saturday event, if you could get us the details on that Saturday event in Hortense, we'll get that on as well. But, again, we've enjoyed getting to know you here on the show. We appreciate you being on the show, and we wish you the best of luck. Like I said, early voting. One other question, I guess you keep up with it better than I would, but district-wide, how's the turnout been so far? Here in Wayne County, it's kind of slow. We've got 16,000 registered voters, only 1,000 heading into the day, but I understand there's a lot of absentee ballots. And that's also a question. Do you have any concern about the absentee ballots? Will they be able to be counted in time? Will we find the results out Tuesday night, or do you think it's going to be a little bit chaotic?
Absolutely. I do not want people to start getting into the habit of sending in absentee ballots. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. So if you're happy and you're healthy and you can go out there and pull the trigger yourself, please do. I think voter turnout in general for primaries is weak. You know, we deserve and we owe it to all the people that, you know, fought for this ability to go out and be American and vote. And I think less than 10% of the people are going to even come out and do it. So that's something that we need to work on as well. But in terms of Jones Kitchen, I have been there before. I got to meet Steve Dixon and a whole bunch of other great folks in the timber industry there. So it is a landmark. What a great spot.
Excellent food. I mean, delicious. Unfortunately, not going to be there on Friday because Friday's fish day. That's the most popular day. You can barely get in on Fridays. But every day the food's great at Jones's Kitchen. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people there tomorrow to meet you. But again, before you go, if people are listening, they want to learn more about Danny Merritt, I'm sure you got a website, Facebook page, things like that. Give us that information so they can check out anything they want to know about Danny Merritt and how they get in touch with if they want to reach out and talk to you.
They can go to merrittforcongress.com, MERRITT, forcongress.com. Go to my Facebook page. You know, I go live all the time on Facebook. It's a great way to connect and to stay up to date. So, I appreciate you all being fair to me and giving me access and asking tough questions. So I really appreciate it, and I promise that when I am elected, anytime you want me on, give me a shout and I'll be on.
I'm curious, are you wearing a mask while you campaign? Are people accessible? Are you shaking hands? I mean, it's tough for politicians. I mean, you think of a politician, they're out there kissing babies, shaking hands, talking to people, but with this pandemic, everybody's fearful. So I'm just curious, how do you get out and see the people and talk to people? And, are you cautious, or how's that going?
I'm when it was a real hot spot in the very beginning, I stayed home. But I didn't wear a mask. Call me old-fashioned, but I still think it's important to shake hands. If somebody doesn't want to, give them an elbow bump or whatever. But no, I mean, I think we're back to normal. I have doctor friends, and this thing is dangerous, but so is the flu. And use hand sanitizer. Don't sneeze in somebody's mouth. and practice common sense, and I think that we're going to be good to go.
I think you're right. Like I said, signs continue to point in the positive direction. Like I said, I'm just hoping the schools are getting ready to open up in the fall, and we get college football and pro football, and hopefully the baseball players can stop bickering about money and get on the field as well. But again, Danny Merritt, we appreciate you being here on the show. Like I said, you're always welcome. Hopefully we can touch base with you Tuesday night after the results get in. But we've enjoyed having you on the show, and stay safe on the campaign trail. And we'll be there Tuesday night at the courthouse or the probate office getting the results and let people know how all this shakes out on Tuesday night, June the 9th. But again, we've enjoyed having you on the show. Appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, and those comments, 1st District Congress candidate Danny Merritt, again, he's on the Republican ballot. There's 3 people on the ballot, including Buddy Carter, Danny Merritt, and a third person, Ken Yazger, I think his name is.
Yeah, Yazger, I believe, but he got called to duty, didn't he? I think
I'm not really sure. Like I said, we haven't been able to reach him or get in touch, but he is on the ballot, and there's 3 people on the Democratic ballot as well. I'll get those for you here. Again, the probate judge sent me those earlier. So, again, the 3 candidates on the Republican side are incumbent Buddy Carter, and then is Danny Merritt, and then Ken Yazger, Yasger. On their Democratic side, 3 candidates, Joyce Marie Griggs, Lisa Ring, and Barbara Seldman. So, again, those are 6 candidates vying for that congressional seat. The incumbent Buddy Carter joins us tomorrow. Friday. What's today? Today's Wednesday.
Wednesday,
yeah,
yes.
Tomorrow I'll be in Brunswick, so it's a busy day tomorrow. They've got that preliminary hearing for those 3 suspects charged in the murder of the Albury killing back in February. So, again, we'll be in Brunswick down in the courthouse and have a full report for you on Friday's newscast about that. So, again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we want to welcome Damon's Restaurant as one of our sponsors now on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. And, again, if you'd like to be a sponsor, just give us a call this week at 427-3711, and we can hook you up. And, Jonathan, again, give a plug again for the Gospel Hours. Have several sponsors on that, but if you'd like to sponsor the Gospel Hour, which is, again, a very popular show, people are glad it's back. Give us some more details about that.
All right, 11 until 12, weekdays here on WIFO. It's Bill Gaither's Homecoming Radio. It is brought to you by Odom Baptist Church, also by House of Worship and Ministries, also Swain and Associates in Baxley, and the Massage Cottage here in Jessup, our sponsors. And we've got room for you. Love to have you. A lot of people have had a lot of positive things to say about that.
A lot of people are glad it's back. Like I said, when I first got to the station back in '85, that was a very popular show. Used to have live DJs do it, and I just remember Freddie Fry introduced me to gospel music. I said I was I hadn't been in the South that long, and really in Stone Mountain wasn't really hadn't heard of gospel music, and definitely didn't hear it up north, but I just fell in love with it and just.
And they do a really good job. Right? They have a lot of fun.
There's a lot of fun. A lot of great gospel groups around the area that I've seen. So it's just good to have the gospel music hour back here on the Big Dog from 11 to 12 each day, Monday through Friday.
All right, at 8:37, that's it. World-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you by Murphy's Builder Supply and our new sponsor, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings. Good morning from the Big Dog, WIFO at 8:38.
Murphy's Builder Supply is where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware.